This is another tale from Clifton Forge. We, you know, my Uncle Tracy was the type of fella that every day was Saturday to him. And when you live a life like that and work is not a priority and neither is anything else, you have a tendency to get fucked up all the time and people come around who have the same priorities as you. That never really bothered us. This is my uncle regardless. So I'm going to spend time with him and go see him. Plus, sometimes there's an opportunity for some entertainment value. And, you know, I would visit Clifton Forge quite a bit through my 20s and 30s because it was my home and I could not be there. And so I'm at my parents' house one day and my pop says, let's go see your Uncle Tracy. And Uncle Tracy lives in a 1 bedroom, 1 bath house, maybe 700 square feet, 650 square feet, something like that. And we go over there and there's a couple people just sort of laid out on couches in the living room. We walk past them. There's a couple girls in there. And when I say girls, I mean like, you know, I'm probably 26, 28. They're probably 35, 40 years old. And I sit down in the kitchen, and the way it's split, it's a very small place. So it's like half of this room is the kitchen and half of this room is the living room. And there's a table sort of in the middle. And I'm on the kitchen side, Pop on the living room side. And he tells these girls, he says, hey, my boy will give you a puff of dope if you get up on the table and show your titties for a minute. And when I say puff of dope, he meant you could hit my son's bowl. I had some reefer. I know some people, dope is a different thing, but in the country, in the mountains, it's usually just pot. He said, my boy will give you a puff of dope, you know, you get up on here and show your titties or whatever. So that, you know, that he's negotiating that, and I'm in the kitchen, and Roger Campbell is in the kitchen. That's Buck Campbell's brother, in case you're from Clifton Forge. And he comes over to me, and he says, hey, Nick, I want to get a tattoo of a wizard. You've heard it all before. A wizard holding a crystal ball, castle in the background, clouds, possibly some sort of Pegasus flying. How much would it be? And I said, I'm not really sure. You know, that's a big tattoo. You're probably looking $500, but, you know, it could vary. He said, I want you to do it. I want you to bring some shit here, and I want you to do it here in Tracy's kitchen. And I said, I don't do tattoos. And he went, don't fucking lie to me. And I said, I'm not lying to you. I don't do tattoos. And he was like, oh, you're playing with me. I said, no, I'm not playing. I said, but, you know, you can come to the tattoo shop. We'll work it out for you and make it easy, blah, blah, blah. So he turns around and walks over to the sink in the kitchen. And I'm sitting here drinking a beer. Like I said, there's a table here, my pop on the other side of the table. And we're just talking and shooting shit. And these ladies declined climbing up on the table. So me and Pop just talking, and Tracy's in there talking to them girls. And after a minute or so, I realized that Roger is staring at my reflection in the window above the kitchen sink. So he's staring at the window, looking at me, and he looks very upset. So I look at Pop, and he's talking, and so I just stand up. I'm like, if this motherfucker gonna do something to me, I should at least be standing. So I stand up, and I'm just looking at this. So now I'm looking at Pop, and I'm looking at him, and I'm looking at Pop, and I'm looking at him, and old man says something to me, and I'm looking at the reflection now. So we're staring at each other in the reflection of the kitchen window. And Tony said, what's the matter, boy? It's my Pop. And I go, I think Roger got a problem. And he goes, what? What the fuck are you talking about? I said, he's staring at me. And Pop goes, he's looking out the window. I said, no, this motherfucker's staring at me in the reflection. So Tracy goes, who's got a problem? And Tracy gets up and comes in there. And he's like, Roger, you got it. What the fuck? And Roger's like, Nick doesn't want to do my tattoo. He's got a fucking attitude. He's got a fucking problem with me. I ain't never done shit to Nick. And Tracy says, Roger, do you want to die tonight? He said, don't go fucking with my nephew. He said, my brother here, he's going to kill you. And Roger goes, hey, I don't want to promise nobody, but ain't nobody going to fucking disrespect me. My old man just sort of adjusted his hat, and Tracy started laughing. He said, it's time to go. And so Roger Campbell got booted out into the street that night, and luckily there was no violence. It was a fun night.